Hello, how's it going, everyone? I accidentally almost looped it again. Thanks so much for being here, everybody. I see Ray is here. Duracell battery. All right, the picture's really funny. Anyway, Duracell. Thanks for coming in. Mandalorian news is here. Will's here. Thanks so much for being here, guys. I've got a really great guy here that I can't wait to talk to. This would be another great episode of Toy Artist Interview. And if you're ever interested in being on here and having one of these interviews, just check out the membership tier below. There's a button that says join right underneath the video, and it's all the information is right there. So anyway, before I get sidetracked too much, let me introduce the really awesome, super amazing photographer guy that I've got here. His name is Sanjeevan, my friend. Shoot, I pushed the wrong button. How you doing, man? Whoa.
Great.
Jeez, I'm all over the place. Thank you so much for being here, dude. Tell me all about yourself and you and Filmer and all that.
I originally started my Filmer Instagram as kind of just like a Lego thing, as a stop motion thing. Yeah. It was originally just a bunch of pictures of future films I wanted to make. So I kind of just stuck with that, and I just never ended up changing it. And I was like, Filmer sounds nice.
Okay. So because I have wondered, like, okay, the name Filmer, is it like someone who films, like a filmer? But I was like, is it because there's who else, or is it like filling?
Yeah, that was actually a mistake. I was a very tiny kid, and I just spelled it wrong.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I spelled it wrong, and then I was like, you know what? Whatever. It's fine.
So if I go deep down onto the Instagram, am I gonna find some Lego stop motion?
No. I've gotten rid of all of it.
Oh man. All right. Well, maybe one day.
Maybe one day it'll bring it all back.
You can resurface it. But so how long have you been into toy photography? Like, tell me about, like, first of all, tell me about you yourself, and then you can tell me about Filmer.
I'm almost 20. I'm not very old to be a photographer, but I feel like I get it done, and it's a fun hobby, which I kind of been struggling on if I wanted to make it like a career and what I want to major in. But photography is just really fun, and I get a lot of joy out of it, and seeing other people loving my stuff and commenting on it. So I think I might end up switching majors because of photography.
Wow, well, that's really exciting to hear that. Like, you want to make the rest of your life kind of revolve around photos and stuff. Like, that's really cool. Like, that's like really exciting. And I had no idea you were only 19. I mean, just by looking at your photos, by looking at your photos, I see like someone who has mastered a craft, honestly. So that's like, when I was 19, I was just like wasting my time, just like doing nothing. You're doing something great. So that's really cool. Okay, so tell me about your toy photography world here.
It's mostly just a lot of anime and sometimes video game stuff. I try to go the same route as you do with interacting with actual objects, because every time I use the objects, it's very fun, and it's very cute in a way that it just makes myself feel really happy, and I'm sure a lot of people feel the same way about that.
I know exactly what you mean, because there's something really special, I think, about like when you are embracing the fact that these are toys, especially when you're using things like Nendoroids or like the figure art minis, what they're called. Like, there's no denying that they're toys. You're not gonna try to convince anyone that they're not, just because the nature of them. And so by like embracing that, I think it makes it even more fun. You know what I mean? And yeah, it's really cute because they're these little things interacting with big things, and like I get
Yeah.
that. And um I wasn't always super into that, but like now it's like I think it's like the best part about it. Like I do it all the time. I have to keep telling myself to do other things and not just that, because it's just so much fun. Hey, thanks a lot, Brian. That's really nice of you. It's very nice. But so yeah, you're an anime guy, clearly.
Yes. Through
So
and through.
My Hero Academia, definitely. I see a lot of in here, right?
Yeah.
And yeah, some Naruto and Dragon Ball.
Yeah, that
And
was a fun one to do. I
so
liked doing that.
tell me about it. Tell me about this shot and how.
That one, what's funny about it is that it has lights in it, and I think it was like a few days after your announcement of the lights, I was like, oh, I could have used this for the lights because the two
Yeah.
lights are shown in the photo, and it would have been so well. But I still think that the one I submitted is pretty good too. That was
They're both
actually, yeah,
amazing.
they're both amazing. And that shot right there is actually was shot right here, like right in front of this computer, and on the desk it was shot right here.
That's so cool. And what I love about it, and actually I didn't notice this the first time, is so you're using is that the Funko Shenron?
Yes, that's the big Funko Shenron.
Big Funko Shenron, and then you've got also Shenron on your computer screens. And they I didn't realize that like Shenron's also on the screen, and like it fits so well. Like you have their faces overlapping. It's really cool. Looks great. Yes, exactly what Will is saying. It blends in perfectly. Like it kind of looks like Shenron, the toy, is extending beyond just the fact that he's a toy. He's also like it works well. It works really well.
I was hoping that it would work really well because I wasn't able to decide what camera angle I wanted, so I tried many different angles to see which one I liked. I tried the vertical, the horizontal, the flat horizontal, and then I decided to go to the low horizontal, which I think really ended up making it really good.
Yeah, I think the horizontal gets you that you can see all the Shenron on the sides and stuff, and the low angle I think makes us feel small, like Naruto and Sasuke. Like, you know, we're looking at Shenron like, whoa, you know,
it's giant.
Right, exactly. So what okay, so what's your favorite? What are your favorite anime, or at least your favorite or something? Because there's actually a lot on here that not only I recognize, but some that I actually really love, and it's making me feel proud of my anime knowledge.
Yeah, I'm the ones that I have Nendroids of would probably be the Konosuba and the Jujutsu Kaisen and My Hero Academia. Those are probably my favorite ones that have the Nendroids. Oh, and Fairy Tail as well.
Okay, well, I pretty much everything you said I actually really enjoy, except for the first one. What was the first one you said?
Konosuba.
I've never even
It's a very weird comedy fantasy thing.
Which is there one more?
Yeah, with Aqua, the one with Aqua and Link. Yeah,
and she definitely looks familiar.
Yeah, she's apparently like a water god, but when she goes to this new world, she's useless, but she keeps hyping herself up and everyone like, I'm so powerful, I can beat you in this and that. But then she ends up being like this big crybaby and whines about everything.
Sounds great. I'm assuming it's on Crunchyroll.
Yeah.
Okay, great. So then, because I've been on an anime kick lately, because for the longest time I had been away from anime, and I feel like I've missed so many great new ones and stuff. So I've been on a huge kick. I just caught myself up with Jujutsu Kaisen.
Ooh.
So like I'm freshly like really into Jujutsu Kaisen, and so like because I had seen a lot of times on like the challenges and stuff like that, there'd be somebody with these characters, and I'm like, I don't know who these guys are, but they look cool. And then so I was like, okay, I need to watch this. And it's so good.
It's so good, yeah.
It's so good. And I know you said Fairy Tail, which
yes,
I also am a huge fan of Fairy Tail. And here we go. Here's Natsu. And I've always wondered. This shot is great, by the way. But I've always wondered, like, where are all the Fairy Tail figures? Like, nobody has done anything. I mean, I know there's Nendoroid, but nobody, Figma or Figuarts, nobody's done any like.
Yeah.
But there's got to be some weird licensing thing happening, because that would be a huge moneymaker.
I know it would. It's just probably the licensing.
Yeah, I don't know, but when it happens, I'll be there for it.
Yeah.
This is great. Okay, so tell me about this shot. There's definitely I'm assuming some mixtures of like practicality, backgrounds, and stuff like that.
Yeah, there was a lot that went into this. It's like a mix of everything, of like a diorama, visual lighting, and then like just backgrounds I found off of Google that I just put in the back. I actually made this diorama with my girlfriend when she was here. So she made like all the rocks and the waterfall and everything, and I just kind of did all the digital stuff.
Awesome. And so what's the waterfall made out of?
It's like this when you're packaging something. It's this smooth, like squishy thing. I don't know exactly what it's called, but it's like this very thin packaging.
Like a foam kind of like sheet kind of thing. Yeah. Absolutely.
It like matched water exactly, like a very light blue. So I was like, this matches really well.
Oh, is Hannah your girlfriend?
Yes.
Hey Hannah, thanks for coming in.
Hello.
I mean, just Hannah, a name that in the live chat that's being very active, and a name I don't recognize. I'm like, wow, whoever Hannah is being great. And then I see my first, and I'm like, oh, okay, now it all makes sense. Yes. Well, thanks, Hannah. You did a great job. And so, I mean, here's Rengoku. He's a fantastic character, and so I'm sure a very top-heavy character, which I'm sure a lot of these Nendoroids are, because a lot of Nendoroids cannot stand on their own, just at all, without the stand. So tell me about that struggle, because I'm sure that is one I would love to know about.
So with this, it wouldn't stand on its own properly, so I got really lucky, and the way the diorama was molded, it kind of just left like a little flap at the end to where the stand was actually able to stand on the back of the flap, so it stood there perfectly.
Wow. Okay, I was ready for you to tell me that you edit the stand out or something, so that's pretty cool.
Yeah, the stand was originally in there, but then I think I deleted it and then I fixed it. So most of it is just cloning, or I drew it in, and I just blended it really well into his case.
So it sounds like Hannah was carving with a wire cutter the diorama so perfectly, just so Rengoku could stand up.
Yes.
So maybe it all wasn't luck. Maybe it all was all skill on Hannah's part.
It was skill. A lot of skill.
So what about other shots though? Like this one. There's no way this flash one he was standing on his own.
Yeah. This
There
one,
you go.
yeah. So I use the regular Nendroid stand, and then I have this hot wire holder that holds items when you're trying to melt things on it. So I just attached it to the stand, and then I did your light painting.
And
That
it came out fantastic.
Yeah, it took me a very long time though.
For which part? Like getting the settings and the light and all that, or the editing?
Just the lighting, the the paint lighting took me like almost 2 hours. I
Wow.
was trying to get the perfect style for his
Oh,
running.
right.
Yeah,
It definitely takes a while to
yeah,
like, because first you when you're doing it, you gotta find the right balance of light, because you could do it and then like very quickly be like, whoa, that's way too much light. Everything is
I know. Yeah,
you know. So I totally know the feeling. And it is definitely hard to get something that looks natural, but this came out perfect.
and this was actually my first one, so I'm surprised it turned out really well, even though how many tries I had to do for it. It ended up really well.
It came out really great. Aaron,
Yeah.
I agree. Aaron agrees that it came out really cool. Um, so there's one thing that's tough is doing like with this is because I can tell because you did some light painting with the blue, and then you did a little bit of like just normal lighting also. So you have like both flash is lit well, plus you've
Yes.
got
Yeah.
um lightning. So tell me about that.
That one was, I thought that it would be good because he's supposed to be more of running outside on like on the road, and some roads have the little lights that pop up to light up the street. So I thought because my table outside looked really like gravel, so I could use that as the road, and then I could use the my lights to simulate the outside lights.
And well, and tell me about how you accomplished that. Did you do it all in one shot?
Yes, it was all one shot. Yeah.
Nice. So
So
you how
I so
sorry.
I so, so I did this so incredibly fast. Like all of this, I just clipped it so it would be a little bit faster, but this was a whole like process. I had to quickly grab one small light, go around, grab another one, turn both of them off, then grab my lights and then do the light painting. It was
That
so much work.
Yeah, that's fantastic. So Aaron is asking the question that I was going to ask next. So yeah, what was your shutter speed? Like how many seconds did you give yourself?
It was all the way at the bottom. Because mine doesn't go that low. I can't really remember what it was, but it was just at one of the lowest settings so I could get enough time
So it's
to
probably like
really.
30 seconds. I think
Yeah,
they
I
go
think
to
it was
like
like 26 seconds. 26 maybe. Yeah.
It's so weird how their longest is like such a specific amount of seconds. But
I know, yeah.
but that's cool because you didn't have to edit. Like you didn't have to do one shot with this light and then one shot with the blue light. It just happened all like that.
I
That's
know, yeah.
that's brilliant. So nicely done. Um, Mandalorian News is asking a question. It says, "What figures do you use, Filmer?" And so most of them are Nendoroids, right?
Yes, I only use Nendoroids.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay, so there's none because I know Figuarts has like their Nendoroids now. That have you ever tried using those ones? They're like,
No, I didn't even know that they did their own Nendoroids.
well, I mean, maybe they're not their own Nendoroids, but it clearly seems like it's their own trying to compete with Nendoroids. I think they're just called
Yeah.
SH Figuarts Mini. They're not quite as chibi. I
Ah,
think they're a little bit the heads aren't quite as huge.
Uh,
But I don't know. I think Nendoroids are better.
yeah.
The world does. But well, you are killing it in the Nendoroid game, my friend, for sure. And it's just adding to your style,
Yeah.
which I think is so cool. So here's Lucy.
Oh, that one made me cry a bit,
Why? Tell me about this one.
Because I was going for I think it was their second to last season where they're fighting the demons and everything. My original, the setting was it's really dark and my deck looks so dirty that I'm gonna make this scene like it's taking place in the flying square that they're all in, and just magically Lucy finds the portal of the guild hall.
All right. Okay, and that's okay.
Yeah.
That's what it is. I recognize that now.
Yeah.
Nice. So how did you? So this is more light painting and then adding in the like the fairy tale guild hall
Yeah.
afterwards.
Yeah. This is more light painting. I just I used the same light that was in the flash photo, but I put it inside like a foggy transparent bag, and I just made a big circle.
Oh,
and
it's in the bag. Nice.
Yeah, I put it in a bag. I just put it all in a ball and then put it in the bag, and it made like this nice smooth looking circle.
Great idea. And so that was all one shot too. So you get the white light and the blue.
Yeah, that was all one shot.
It came out so good.
And that was before I knew I could take more than one photo. I was like, oh, I guess I have to do it like this. That makes it kind of difficult.
Well, still, I think that if you're able to accomplish it all in one photo, I think it will always look better. Because when you try to, like, at least when I try to do it, if I try to mix two photos together with such different lighting, it's really hard to get them to blend. So you've basically got them perfectly blended already in one shot. So how did you add in the guild hall?
I actually just went on a streaming service, and I searched up the episode that had a clear shot of the guild hall, and I just screenshotted it and just put it there and just erased a little bit of the edge with the transparency, like 80, maybe 90, so it would look like it's blending in with the circle.
Yeah, it came out really good. Was it difficult to blend it around her?
I believe it took me quite a while, because there was a lot. I think I had to take a copy of the original and then take Lucy as a whole, and then copy just Lucy and then layer it. So the Fairy Tale Guild and then Lucy was above that.
Okay, I see.
Yeah,
it's really well done, because I think it's in my opinion, it's really tough to do something like that where it's so perfectly around a character with lots of edges and curves and stuff, and it's flawless. It came out great.
The one thing that is very difficult when doing photography with Nendoroids is how you should get them to stand, and how you don't show like the wires or like the hooks or whatever you use.
Which I didn't even ask that about this one. How did you get her to stand?
So in the front, right where her legs are, there's like a little bit of a crack. There are like these long cracks, and I put a wire right in between her body, and it stood perfectly. So the back, I didn't put a back stand. So she just stood perfectly with just one little wire.
That is amazing. That is an art in and of itself, getting them to stand. Like, not only getting them to stand, but getting them to stand like in a way that works for the photo.
Yeah, I know.
That's impressive.
Every time I have to do these photos, I'm like, how am I gonna make them stand? Like, I gotta be super creative about this,
Yeah,
and it's stressful, but it's also it expands your mind and how
yeah,
you should see things. Yeah.
yeah. Because you got to think about all the steps when you're trying to do step one.
Yeah.
I love this one, and this is one I didn't like. I'm only just now noticing, and this must have also been tough because you've got all types of things besides their top heavy. Oh, hey Ben, thanks for coming in, Ben. But you must have had to, yeah. They're not only they're top heavy, but you got cupcakes to stand up.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's tough. That's tough. How did you do this?
I used most of the things that you put on your Amazon things. So the sticks and the putty, I used that. I
Oh,
used all of
nice.
that. It was really difficult because I used the pointy side of the sticks for the front and the back and the bottom side of All Mights. So every time I put it in, it would like slowly fall down the stick. And it was
Right.
all about timing. I gotta do this quick and make sure it doesn't fall because sometimes they would just randomly fall.
I know that feeling where you got everything set up and you're like, oh, this is great. The sticks are poked right through, and then yeah, they just slide right in. That's great. Well, it you did a great job. You did a great job, and like the lemons and the drink and everything, they all complement each other so well.
Yeah. This was
Um,
very scary because this was my first photo that I actually like had to damage my Nendroid.
with
So,
frosting.
yeah, with frosting, I was so worried that I would keep it on there too long and it would like weirdly stain his face because I use Midoriya quite a bit. So I was like, I don't want to ruin his face, but I took the chance and I immediately just quickly washed his face off, and
And so
thankfully it didn't stain.
he and Deku came out just fine.
Yes, a little
That's good.
bit greasy on the hair, but I kept washing that, and he's good now.
I guess depends on what type of frosting it was. Was it buttermilk frosting or was it?
I don't know. I went to Giant and I saw cupcakes and I was like, you know what? I'm gonna throw All Might in there and him starting a food fight.
That's awesome. Well, it came out great, and I'm sure the cupcake um, didn't do too much, right? I'm sure it came out just fine.
Yeah,
Um,
thankfully.
were you able to still each conserve each cupcake and make them still edible, even if they hit an android in the face?
Yeah, luckily it was just only one cupcake that was used, but I ate that afterwards. And then the
Nice.
rest my family ate.
Nice. I would have, yeah, that probably would have been eaten instantly. Like after the photo's done, and I can kind of like take a breath. I would be like, okay,
Yep. Yeah, we're like, I'm done. I'm gonna treat myself to this cupcake.
yes, I've been sitting here watching it, looking at it for the past hour, taking this photo. Now I can finally eat it. 'Cause that's
And
tough.
this, yeah, it was very tough. Since it was December, I think it was September actually. September, it was really, really warm, and it was the morning. So these cupcakes were melting. So I was freaking out about that.
Where are you located?
I'm in Maryland, just
Oh,
in the
okay.
backyard. Yeah.
So I'm sure pretty much the same climate that I'm dealing with. But yeah,
Yeah.
September you can still get some real hot days for sure. So well done, a great accomplishment for sure. That's one of the tough things about shooting with life-size objects and like food. Like I love adding food into my photos, but
Yeah.
it's tough. It's tough because you get greasiness over the place. Your mouth's watering because you want to eat it.
I know.
You got weight problems of like things shifting and stuff. It's difficult. So here's one with Uraraka, and she's using her gravity powers to get all the candy
Yeah.
to this okay, this is a perfect like Halloween kind of shot. All right.
Yeah.
So how did you get the candy to float?
I used the sticks and the putty. So I put it on the back of the candy, and I took just like a handful from a different bag, and I just scattered it everywhere. And I'm like, whatever looks good when I'm editing it, it'll work. So I made them all spread out or make it like right behind it so it would make a flow.
Oh, okay. So
Yeah.
was it all in one photo, like with each
No.
candy, or did you do
No.
them separately?
Yeah, this all was separately. Yeah.
Nice.
I think all of
That
them had their own lighting to it as well.
nicely done. Like that's I've learned to also I feel like that's the easier way to do it. Because trying to get if you're trying to have all these things floating all at once, getting them all in one photo is so hard.
Yeah, I don't know
So
how I
hard.
would have done that.
So cool. Did you hold it with with your hand or did you
I held it with a stick, so I
like
held it.
right? Did you hold did you hold the stick or did you like have the stick like suspended like standing up or something?
I held the stick. Yeah.
Nice. That's so I'm just thinking about it. I'm like, well, that's exactly how I would have done it too. Nicely done. It came out really good. Very
I
nice.
was so worried about that one. I was like, this isn't looking at the start. It didn't look too good, but I really had to take the time and like make it the way I wanted to because I wasn't sure if I should add the pink little effects because when I first added it, it didn't look that great. And I'm like, does she have a pink aura whenever she uses her powers? And should I use that in here? And I kind of just ended up being like, you know what? It makes it look brighter and it stands out a lot. So
Yeah, it
I think
does.
it'll be well.
I think that was a great because it fills it up and it also like
Yeah.
complements her colors.
And a
So it
little
all
bit of
kind
her
of like
personality too.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Very bubbly.
I think that was a great choice. And it's cool how sometimes you take a photo, you're feeling good and then you go into editing and you're like, but you still go through it and then in the end like you're like I'm glad I kept doing that.
Yeah.
Comic Dad says I love the Kirby and Luigi shot.
That
This is yeah,
one, yeah. That
this
one
is
was
great.
so fun to do. I was
Yeah.
originally going to make a little mustache on Kirby because my first idea was let's let Mario turn into Kirby. He puts his hat on Kirby like he does in Odyssey, so he would have the mustache. But then I was like, why not just have him where he steals his hat and impersonates Mario?
Yeah, that's so cute. Did the Kirby come with a Mario hat or did you steal a Mario hat from
Yeah, I stole the Mario hat
Mm.
from the Mario Nintendo. Yeah.
I know the one of the Kirby Nendoroids that my wife has comes with a Link hat,
Oh yeah,
I think,
that's the original one.
the
Yeah.
original one, which is pretty cool. And she ended up she ended up selling it, and I was really
Ooh,
sad that she did because I was like, oh man.
those go for quite a bit now.
Yeah, yeah, that was one. That was one of the reasons. But they've come out with quite a few different Kirby's, right?
Yeah,
Since then.
but they all don't have like the same faces. Like the when he's trying to swallow something or when he's sleeping, they all have different faces, which
Right.
this one didn't have all of those.
But it does have this super cute detailed eye face, which
I know. Yeah.
that's I mean, I don't think the one she had this one, so that's a plus for sure.
Very cute eyes.
So I've like I have a photo I think that I might do soon that it does involve the Mario stars, and I want it to also glisten and shine like these are. So how did you do that?
The stars.
Yeah, how did you get them to glow like that?
Well, originally I was going to just put it as as another layer and just put it right behind the stars. But I think I did a little bit of both and a lot of Lightroom. Lightroom is what I use now whenever I do digital lighting. So I just created a little circle around the two stars because I had the glow in the back already. It's like, why not just brighten up the star and make the contrast and just make it a lot brighter.
Cool.
So I did that for both. And then I think I also added like a tiny little lens flare, like right on the edges of the star where the white is.
Where the white is. Okay.
Yeah.
Nice. It looks really good.
Oh, and I also like I like weird. I don't know what it's called, but when you press Alt or Control, you can like weirdly move it at an angle, but it stays in the same position. So I did that
in Photoshop.
Yeah, in Photoshop, because the star is just an image. It's not actually a prop. It's just an
really?
Yes, it's just an image.
Oh.
So I bended it to where it's towards his hand, to where he actually is able to hold it.
Okay. Wow. Okay. Well, first of all, I had no idea. I thought they were like the star, like prop or something. So that's amazing. Nice.
I don't think any of the ninjas come with the star, unfortunately.
Really?
Yeah. I don't know why.
I'm trying to think, because I have a bunch of the Figuarts Mario stuff. Like, I hope it comes with the star. I'm thinking now, like, does it? Does it? Well, either way, I would have had no idea. It looks really, really good. So Comic Dad, keep throwing in the question. It says, I don't know if you've mentioned this, but what kind of camera are you using? We have not mentioned this yet.
Ooh.
Here it is.
Let me see. I have a Canon E 2000D, I believe. Yeah, I don't know if you can see that. Yeah, so this one doesn't really do a lot because this is the original lens. I use the original lens that it came with, but I just use a lot of editing to make up for that.
Does it have a the bendy movable screen and stuff?
No, I hate that it doesn't. So it's just this flat screen.
It's I know the struggle, and that can be quite tough.
Yeah, because I'm taking an above angle and then I can't see that, and then it becomes a whole problem.
Yeah, it's well, I mean, bendy screen or no, you're coming out with these beautiful shots, and with the lens it comes with, like, you're just proving to the world that like it's all about the photographer and not the crazy lenses or whatever, you know.
Yeah, it really does.
Okay, so it's the T7.
Yeah.
Comic Dad's got the same thing.
Ooh, okay.
Yeah, he's doing great work with it too. And I had the T6 when I first started. And I would have still been using it probably if I didn't break it by literally dunking it in water by accident.
Oh yeah, I remember you saying that.
Yeah, it's just yeah. I was being stupid. The shot ended up coming out great. It was an Aquaman photo, where he's like riding a shark, like a surfboard.
I remember that. Oh.
Yeah, and like I had him dangling over an actual waterfall. And everything was all set up, and I'm like, okay, let me go. And then I bumped something with my elbow, and everything's from.
I know. I hope that never happens to me. Just don't.
Well, just don't dangle your camera over literally a waterfall, or just do that and be more careful, because I clearly wasn't being careful enough. Okay, so this is one I'm actually really curious about, because it's like flawlessly done, and the ribbons and the confetti and stuff are perfect. Like, I don't know, everything is like, how did you get every piece of confetti exactly where you want it to be?
Well, there was a lot of wind that day, so the wind actually worked for my advantage, So I had a cup of chopped up confetti,
There it is.
and as the wind was blowing, I just put it. Yeah, I would just scatter it, and the wind would sometimes push it towards his face. Like it looked like the wind from his how fast he was moving
Right.
would create the wind. So that made it look really well, and that also took more than one shot.
Right. Well, my
Yeah.
my first thing was the ribbons and the streamers here.
Oh yeah, the ribbons.
And
Okay. Yeah.
and now I see from just looking at the BTS and nicely done.
Yeah, I
Those
use
must have
those
been
a
tough.
lot. Yeah.
Those are really cool.
It was very awkward because my mom was getting something fixed on the deck, so there was this guy just looking at me while I was doing this as well.
Hey, you're doing what you gotta do in your own home.
Yes.
So he can I'm sure like there's always this fear like where if someone's like watching as you're doing toy photography like that they think that you're weird and but it's almost never that. It's like always just like that's really cool. I wonder what he's doing. Like probably something really what I mean? Like but just naturally out of our own fear we always jump to like, oh my god, just go away.
Yeah, yeah.
I know the feeling. I know the feeling. And so this little super handy little gadget thing with all these little arms, that looks like what an amazing tool. Like I didn't realize it had all of those arms and clips and stuff. That's so cool.
Yeah. So you can bend it to like any position you want. It could be up, it
Yeah.
could be down, it could go sideways, literally anywhere. And you get tons of them. So you can make it all into like one photo without having to take like 100 and then edit them all in.
Yeah. And so what is it called? Like does this have a name for that?
I don't remember what it's called, but I originally saw it on Instagram. Someone else had used it for toy photography. And I
Okay.
was like, I'm just going to randomly search things online. And it ended up being like this, like, it's something for like computer parts, like to hold computer parts together so you don't get like fried or electrocuted when you're working on it. So they
Huh.
have like little metal claps, so they hold things together, and they actually work really, really
Oh.
well for holding figures.
Yeah, I mean clearly. Um
Yeah.
So is the fact that the arms are like thick and blue, do those like does that make it difficult with that? Because that seems like the only downside is that like the arms are so thick. Does that become difficult when you're trying to edit them out?
It only makes it difficult if the arms are in front of the camera. But if they're further in the back, I normally just take I just take the photo and then I take it without the arms and Android. And I keep my regular lighting in there. So then I take a photo
Right.
of that.
Nice.
And
Okay.
then it keeps it the same. Yeah.
But a photo like this where you've got moving elements and stuff like that, that's probably really tough to keep the confetti and stuff there, but then also removing the arms. Like that must have been tough. Like that's
Yeah, it takes me quite a while. I believe it takes me over an hour to make it perfect the way that I want it. But it's always worth it in the end because it looks great.
it does. It's
It
it's
looks
completely
great.
flawless. It's
Yeah.
absolutely flawless.
And I
And
got the idea from your Pokemon one, from your Pokestop with the pink
oh,
little
really?
confetti.
Oh,
Yeah.
cool.
I was
That's
like, that's
awesome.
so cool. I want to use something with confetti. And I had Ida, and I was like, that's a brilliant idea.
Cool. Yeah, and it came out great. But how much of a pain in the butt was it to pick up each little thing?
Oh, it sucked. It sucked. It was cold. It was windy. Everything was flying and blowing everywhere. Even the ribbons were flying everywhere. and I had to
Yeah.
like grab it like individually with like each finger
Yeah.
and put it
Yeah.
back.
There's no good way to do it. Like when I did mine, I did it like, on the sidewalk in the middle of the
Yeah.
town that I live in. So I couldn't just be like, like in my backyard, be like, I'll pick it up later or something. Like I was like, okay, I have to pick every single one of these up. I mean, it was like just normal construction papers, so I'm sure if I left one or two, like it could have been broken down by the rain and whatever.
Yeah.
But I was like, no, I gotta pick up each one, and it was a pain. Like it's not
Yeah.
fun. It's not fun at all.
Yeah.
But it came out great. It came out great, and like as you scroll up your page and you get more and more recent, you can. I feel like you can just feel the confidence and the um I don't know, the confidence in your skill to like your photos not only get like really better and better, they get more and more ambitious, I feel like.
Yeah. That's
Um
what I try and go for.
like
Every
this one.
Yeah, that one was good.
Like this is so good. And it all like there's something about this one that it's visually like it's stunning because like, oh cool, like this is awesome, look what's happening here. But like it also fits the characters because they're slicing stuff.
Yeah.
Um uh and does he have butter on his
Yeah, he has
like he's
butter
ready
on
to
his swords.
okay, because I remember seeing this the first time and I was like, please don't that is not butter on Levi's sword ready to spread it on the toast. But it is, and I just like that's amazing. Like that's so good.
I was thinking of adding some toast crumbles. Like I wasn't sure how well that
Ooh.
would work, but I think it works well either way without it.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah, the toast crumbles could have been really cool with like I don't know, selling the action or whatever. But
Slice.
yeah, but at the same time, you don't need that to know exactly what's happening and for that react to get that reaction.
Yeah.
So this is and so did you use that same handy blue claw thing to hold everything up?
Yes. Everything was held up by the claw. So any
Claw.
photo that is with an entered in the air or they're standing is just with the claw.
Man, claw, man. That's like
Oh, except for the Dragon Ball one. The Dragon Ball and Naruto one, that one was something completely different, which
oh really?
yes.
Yes, tell me.
Because the first time I did it, I originally kept the stands in the back, and I thought at the time that it would have been a good idea, and I used the claw, but the claw was so dark and it was creating like a lot of darkness at the bottom, and I couldn't create another layer without it because I still needed Naruto and Sasuke's um, the lighting to be the same.
Right.
So with that, it just didn't work, and I had to use the wires. So I like bent them in a circle, and I used clay. It's very weird. I wish I would have shown it, but I think I do in the Inosuke one. So I made a circle at the bottom and I made a circle at the top. And yeah, so that it's the same thing with the lights. So I made a
Oh,
circle at the bottom and then I made it go up and made another
right.
circle. So it
Okay,
would hold them up in the front.
there it
And
is.
it made editing it a whole lot easier.
Nice.
Because I also can figure out how to do it with the claw because the wire is so thin that it doesn't keep the claw stable. So it'll either fall off of the clay, which happened many times. The light bulb fell completely off, or the claw would just loosen and the whole thing, including the wire, would just fall. So I was like, I gotta find a new way to keep it completely still without having the claw in there.
Yeah, and
And
sorry.
yeah, no, I was just saying, and that's how I ended up using this weird little thing.
Well, it worked. It probably was quite refreshing because it's such a smaller thing than that huge claw. So this probably worked out nicely, just not having to deal with such a huge piece to edit and just having more room.
Yeah, that actually did feel really good. And I was like, I'm using my brain and it feels good that I am. I'm able to create new ways, even though it was very challenging to keep it up. Because even though with this thing it would still fall, but sometimes I would just get lucky and it would just not. But it still felt really great to create this.
You did a great job. Like because I remember seeing this and being like, wow, like how did he get the light bulb to be on and float? Like I legitimately was thinking to myself, like, how did he do this? Because it really looks like it's lit. Like the light bulb is currently on.
Like it's on,
Yeah,
yeah.
and I was like, well, how did he get the light bulb to be on? Like, did he have it in something, and then did he take a photo with just the bottom? So then
Yeah.
he had, but no, it's not on at all.
Yeah. It's a lot of
Fantastic.
Lightroom. Lightroom does a lot when it comes to making it in your own light. And also just with the additional lighting that I made, it really made it more it made it look more realistic to a light bulb.
It did a great job because not only did you get the light on the light bulb, but you provided like a light emitting from the light bulb and affecting the rest of the scene. You know,
Yeah.
and I love little like Nezuko
Hiding from the
back there.
light.
Yeah.
It's
So
so bright, it's like the sun.
yeah. Yeah, really, really great. And I'll be talking a lot more about this photo at the end of December when that challenge happens. So yeah, there's just so much. Like I've said this multiple times about your stuff, but like every single one of these photos, there is something happening that everybody can connect with because you've got all this real life stuff, and it just instantly makes you smile. Like
Yeah.
because there's so many things for somebody to connect with, and like you're just like like your photos just bring smiles.
Yeah. The one with the chainsaw man and
This
the
is great.
cake was one of the scariest things I had to do.
A lot more
Cause
cake on this one.
yes, this was like the smallest cake I could find at Giant. Um, I knew I was gonna destroy it because it's just destroyed cake. It's just
Yes,
pieces of cake. So I was like, I'm going to destroy it. I might as well eat a little bit of it before I completely destroy it.
that's
So I
smart.
so I cut like half of it. So my family and I ate most of that, and then whatever I didn't, I just destroyed it with my hands and just crushed it all on the table. Everything. I was so worried about it.
Well, I mean, the photo came out great, and I'm sure you were able to get him out nice and clean.
Yes.
You've had
Yeah.
cake experience at this point.
Yeah.
This isn't your first cake shot.
It scares me every time I look at this. All the work, all the water I spent cleaning him.
Yeah, I'm sure, but totally worth it, right?
Yes, totally worth it. Especially with the tongue and the icing. I loved that.
Yeah, nice. And you've got pieces of cake flying all over the place too, which
Mhm.
obviously candles too. So yeah, this is just awesome. And Chainsaw Man is not. I have not watched Chainsaw Man yet.
Ooh.
Um,
It's not what I made this photo seem to be. It's not like that at all.
oh right, I know it's a lot more not so cutesy
Yes.
like this is, and that's I love that. Like I love not so cutesy characters doing cutesy things because that's a whole like another thing to add on that's like makes you think and like oh like I love that. Just there's just so much to love on your page, and so if you're not following filmer. I mean, what the heck? Like, he's got 144 followers. It should be at 144,000. And you know that just like I was saying, as you scroll up, the photos get more and more just more and more beautiful and ambitious and interesting. So I can only imagine where these photos will be, you know, the next and his next shot and the next. So yeah, it's just so much good stuff to love here. So if you're not following, go and follow him. I've got his Instagram linked right in the description of the video, or just go to right here, __ filmer. And oh yeah, I wanted to ask you, because I was looking at this and I saw, is that the Elgato stream deck back there?
Yeah, that is
Nice. I think Elgato is a great brand. I really like Elgato. I have the Loop Deck stream deck, which is really cool.
Ooh, I like that one a lot.
Not only can you do, you know, a lot of great stuff with like OBS Studio with streaming and stuff, but you can connect it to Photoshop, so you can like,
yeah.
So I'm assuming you can do that with the Elgato.
Yeah, you could do that with that too. Nice.
So you can just push like content aware fill, boom.
Yep, and it works with everything, and it's awesome.
You know, I haven't seen if I can, because I don't even use content aware fill anymore. I just use generative fill in Photoshop, because it's just like, it's so much better. So I haven't checked to see if that's a quick button yet.
I've never used generative fill. I've only used it once just to see what it's capable of, and it does a great job of creating things that you would like to have but originally couldn't put in. But personally, I just like to use my own stuff.
Yeah, well, it's it can be used to the point where, like, yeah, you can, if you wanted to have whatever something else here, literally having it generate something completely new, or you can just use it like you would use the content aware, and it will do the same thing, but in my opinion, it's just smarter. So it'll just take everything in the lighting around the photo and use that to like fill something in, and it's like sometimes it's just like totally flawless.
I know, it's amazing at what it can do.
Yeah, and it's weird to, like, today. So for your thumbnail, for the for the thumbnail for this video, I had to like I just like you know, made your one with Deku here with the ice cream a little bit wider, so I could put in your title next to it. And I adore this photo. That's why I used it. And so it generated like a bunch of just like random stuff. I'm like, why is this here? Like, it looked like it was supposed to be like candy or like ice cream, but it's just like weird shapes. I was like, what's going on? It's just like, because it's very useful when you're trying to like extend something. But I do, I feel like this was the first photo of yours I remember seeing and just being like, this is awesome. I love this so much. And that was like the first one that really caught me. And really made me love your work.
That one, I couldn't decide on who I should use, but I got Deku that day, and it's a pretty rare one actually.
Oh, really?
So yeah, that's his shoot style costume. That's his second suit, which
he's got the leg things, right?
Yeah, his shoot styles. Yeah. His new hard shoes, which I really liked this one because you got a lot more expressive faces, which from the first one you didn't really get good ones. It was just a lot of scared and crying ones, but this one came with a lot of good ones that I was like, this face looks incredibly happy, and what makes people smile this big as ice cream.
Yeah, and I feel like the just the choice in color was perfect, because the green and like I'm assuming that's like mint chocolate chip ice cream, and so the green on him I think just worked perfectly with just with the photo. I mean, it just seemed like the perfect. Man, that ice cream looks so good.
And the jumbo cones are like almost his exact size.
Yeah,
Which is crazy.
it's so perfect. That I a very long time ago I wanted to do a photo with like ice cream in a cone, and I guess I've done recent, but I I did it at an actual ice cream place outside,
Oh
and it was
wow.
with Majin Buu, and I wanted to have him yeah, it was really like a great concept, but
Oh, that's so
it
cute.
was a hot day, and it instantly was just started melting so fast, and
Yeah.
yeah, the photo did not come out as I had hoped, but I'll have to revisit that. That was fun. I liked the concept, but I wasn't happy with the execution, so maybe I can do better now. Um, I'll have
This
to
one
do it
was
on a not so
also
cold day.
yeah. It's the timing. Like you have a great idea like related to ice cream or cake and you just realize that it's the weather is what matters the most.
Gosh, yeah, yeah, for sure. But if you're doing it inside, you can
Yeah, then you
have a
got no
little bit more
problem.
control there. So, Brian, I saw this was actually really interesting. So, I use the gen fill for props sometimes when I don't have many, and that's really smart.
Oh,
Yeah,
that is
yeah,
very smart. Yeah.
especially if you need like I don't know, like you could literally have somebody holding a sword or just props like around the scene would probably work really great
Yeah.
for that.
That's very smart.
Yeah, really cool. All right, well, I've got a bunch of questions that are
Okay.
sent over from the Instagram community. So let me pull them up. And so what I'll do, anytime I'm holding or have somebody on, I'll put on Instagram like have any questions for this person. So if you're ever want to throw in a question that we'll answer for you, please just keep an eye out on Instagram for the stories. And if you ever see that I am putting out one of these videos, check the Instagram story because there'll be some questions, and we'll answer your questions the best we can. So the first question here from Trooper Effects is hang on, a really important one, which I should have asked you first. So yes, my friend, how are you today?
I'm great. Finals almost done with finals. Coming up with new ideas for photography,
Okay.
videos. I'm great today.
Right. Aside from just toy photography, I know you stream, right?
Yes.
And that's
Yeah.
is that where the Presto Voice name comes from?
Yeah, I originally streamed with that name, but I've kind of moved from that and now if it's anything related to toy photography, I will do it on my regular channel with the regular name. And then if it's something like gaming or whatever, anything fun, chill, I will go back to the Presto
Okay,
voice.
gotcha.
Yeah.
So so aside from video games, what other stuff are you streaming or making videos for?
Um, I filmed a recent video with my girlfriend. We came up with this crazy idea to pull random letters. I think it's 5 random letters, and we have to surprise each other with the ingredients to make a pizza. So if it's like A, we would have to use like apple chips on their pizza. So we filmed the whole thing and everything, and I have to just edit that, and
Cool.
hopefully I'll be able to put that up this week.
Is that on YouTube or
Yeah, on YouTube.
and what's the is that would that be on the Presto channel?
Yeah, that'll be on the Presto Voice channel.
Okay, cool. That sounds great. Are you doing any YouTube toy photography related stuff?
Yeah, I've filmed a few of Nendroid photography stuff, but I just haven't gotten the time to posting it or editing it
Editing
because
editing takes a long time.
yeah, it takes a long time and a lot of finals, a lot of studying.
Right. All right. Well, cool. Well, when the toy photo stuff comes out, I mean, I'm gonna want to see any of them, but that's really cool. Cool. All right.
Yeah.
Well, Trooper Effects. Thanks for the great question.
Yeah, thank
Um,
you, Trooper.
Next is from Aaron. And actually, we did already touch on this one. What type of
Yeah.
camera? So the Canon Rebel T7.
Yes.
Do you have any like aspirations or desires for lenses or anything like that, or are you just
Um, I would like to get a new lens, but I still don't fully understand the difference between like my lens and another lens. Besides, you get more access to like the ISO and everything.
right?
Yeah.
Honestly, like I'm learning all the time. But the more I use different things, the more I realize what the difference is. So like, um, so I think, and there's a lot of other things. A good way to think of it is, so when you're thinking about millimeter, like X millimeter to X millimeter, the higher the millimeter is, like the more far apart things feel up close, and the more close
Uh,
together things seem far away. So that the focus, what's the word, the focal area becomes more like this. So the closer the things are seem far away, and then far stuff seems close. But then when you
oh.
go to a lower millimeter, it does the opposite, where
Hmm.
things close ups seem really close together, and then things really far away seem really further out, and you get more like wide slash. And so when you have like super high millimeter, like 100 millimeter stuff, the background is so focused on one small area, but it's still very big, which makes it like really nice and blurry, the background, because
Yeah.
it's like one thing that's really big. And then your figures and stuff feel really big too, because the focal range like makes everything seem far apart. So you can put things so close together like this, but in the camera they seem far apart. It's really interesting. It's just
Ooh.
as, and
Yeah.
a camera expert probably is listening to me and being like, "Yeah, you're close, pal." But but that's kind of, and I really want to make a video on that, but I know like something I'm gonna say is gonna be not like right, not correct.
I mean,
Um,
but still, your videos do help a lot. They help a lot.
Thanks, man.
Even if
Uh,
they might not be accurate, it's still very helpful.
well, I'm that's amazing to hear, because that's honestly all that I'm hoping for. Um, but yeah, so it is really cool to experiment with lenses, and but it sucks because they're just so expensive. I wish there was a way to
Yeah.
like try out a bunch of lenses and being like, I like this one, so I
Yeah.
don't just spend $1 million on one lens. Oh, like Comic Dad's got an 85 millimeter 1.8, and I have one of those
Ooh.
too. And man, it's awesome. And yeah, you get a nice, blurry, beautiful, out of
Yes.
focus background, which is just my favorite thing.
Oh, I really want that.
Yeah, it's really cool. And there's a lot of lenses too that are not like a Canon lens or a Sony lens,
Yeah.
that are like generic brands or third party brands, and they do just as good, for sure.
Yeah. Anything works.
Yeah. Well, cool, Aaron. Thanks for the question, my friend.
Thank you, Aaron.
Mandalorian Photography, who's been here in the
Ooh.
live chat. What's your favorite figure or shot that you have ever taken? So I guess maybe they do go hand in
Ooh.
hand. But yeah, what's their favorite figure, and then what's your favorite shot?
Mm, my favorite figure right now, um, I would have to say it's the Sonic one. I haven't made a photo of that yet.
Oh,
Yes, but a photo is coming up. I promise. A photo with, I believe it's I think it's Sue from My Hero and Sonic, and it's water related. So if
Sue.
you can pair those two together and see how well you can guess of that.
Sue Froppy?
Yeah, it's
Okay,
Froppy.
okay,
Yeah.
yeah. It's been a while. I have to. Dropped off a while ago on My Hero Academia. I'm sure there's probably one or two new seasons since I stopped. But man, that's such an amazing show. Um, okay, so a Sonic and Froppy
Yes.
shot. All right, that sounds great. Cool.
And to answer your second question, I would say right now the Dragon Ball Z and the Naruto one is my favorite.
Nice. Okay. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's a really great one. I just want to make sure I have that pulled up while you mention it. So, um,
The green lighting that I used in that was awesome. I thought that blended in really well.
everything about it's so good. Yeah,
Yeah.
everything about it's so good. What are those tube lights, by the way?
Um, I don't always know what the names are, but I actually only have one of them, so it's just two photos just merged
Nice.
into one. And
Nice.
Instro, I believe that's what it is. Yeah, it's
Cool.
Instro. Yeah. It's a pretty decent size. I think it goes here for my Nendoroids because they're not really that big. So it's like a perfect size for them. So I don't need one of those giant ones.
I know that
Thankfully.
they really make giant ones.
Yeah.
Awesome. Yeah, this definitely makes sense to be one of your current favorite shot.
Yeah.
But I can't wait for when you take a shot that you love even more and it becomes your new favorite shot. So always looking forward to seeing more from you. Mandalorian, thanks so much for. And I think you got another one. Yes. So, what inspired you to do toy photography?
Oof, that one I've been thinking a lot of, and I think it started originally. It started with just anime, and then after I realized Nendoroid photography and toy photography was the thing, then I saw you in your channel. And I was like, you do such an awesome job in bringing these toys to life. And I've been, every new photo has inspired me to create new things. And I was like, this brings me joy. And this is what I want to do as well. And if I can make other people feel the same way, then that's a win for me.
That's so cool. I mean, you're definitely making people feel good with your shots for sure. Because I mean, that's what I get when I see them. But that's so cool. Thanks a million again. Like I've said a million times for even watching those videos. The fact that they are helpful and that it helped like inspire you, that means everything to me. That's so cool. But yeah, and now the fact that it's potentially what you want to like change your major and stuff like with photography, like that's so cool. And I'm sure that if you just keep doing like exactly what you're doing, like you're gonna keep learning so much. Like every time I do it, I always am learning something. So that's really exciting. And Mandalorian, thanks for sending in the questions, my friend. Well, I think this seems to be an obvious one. Which figure company is your favorite?
It's gotta be Good Smile. Good Smile goes all the way with everything.
Yeah, they definitely do. Have you considered like any of the other, because they've got the Figma stuff too? Like, have you ever thought about shooting them at all? Or you just Nendoroid?
I've tried to. I've taken a few test photos because I have a couple old Star Wars characters or figures, and
they made Figma Star Wars.
Yeah. Oh well, not from Figma. I just have like old toys that I had as a kid.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So they're like the actual figures, like the action figures that you would collect. Yeah. So I've tried those, and I just personally I don't know how to work that with the style I want. They have a lot more. They're more flexible, so I like that about them. But the Nendoroids just suit my personality more because of how small and chibi they are, and it brightens up a lot more for me, at least for what I want to make.
Absolutely, and you can tell like that's like they complement the style that you are going for perfectly. And I'm glad that like it's still, because that happens a lot, I think, to a lot of us, where like we find ourselves growing and then our figures are not growing with us, so I want to move on to different figures and stuff. And I got to make sure I mention and say hi to my wife Harleen, who's at the mall right now and saying hi. Hey babe, thanks for coming in.
Hi Harley. Hello.
And also Toymer, thanks for coming in, dude. Hope you're doing well. So yeah, Nendoroid makes perfect sense. Makes perfect sense. There's a lot of Nendoroids out there that I'm like, oh yeah, they made a Nendoroid of him and him and him.
Yeah.
The only one that I currently own for myself right now is the Superman, which I know you have too, right?
Yes, I have that one. Yeah.
Yeah, he's great. He's great. I feel like I couldn't not have him in the Superman collection. Yeah. It's a nice little figure. All right, King T Belly, thanks for sending in that shot. Mike Mansell says, which photographers inspire you? This question is always hard, and I actually really hate answering this because there's so many great ones, and like I don't want to like leave anybody out. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
So yeah, which photographers inspire you?
So first, number one, you, obviously. It's always gonna be you. And I'm also quite new to the whole new toy photography. I am expanding everything, so I'm trying to find new people. But everyone on Instagram basically inspires me. Sorry. Everyone does amazing, great job, great ideas. Everything that everyone does in the toy photography community is just awesome work. And every day that I open up Instagram, I'm like, this is an amazing photo, this is an amazing shot, and I'm proud that they're able to do something like this.
Yeah, you're so right. And everyone just keeps continuously like getting better and better and growing, and it's just like it's so easy to get inspired instantly because just like everybody's just so good.
Yeah, everyone's got their own unique way of doing their own shots, and it just works perfectly. Everyone has their own style, and that's your own style. That's how you want it, and it's awesome.
Have there been any recently that you've noticed that have been really inspirational?
Like I said before, literally everyone. I can't name because everyone on my page, literally everyone. I follow everybody.
That's my answer too. Everybody. There's so many.
Yeah. Everyone does a great job.
Cell Zero. Sirdork, do you have a toy photography Facebook group? Ooh. You know, to be honest, I don't have one, and I've honestly been trying to stay away from Facebook ever since I had that unfortunate issue with Facebook. But there are a lot of toy photography Facebook groups out there if you're looking for one, and I'm sure you would easily find plenty of them. It's just hard to like. Anytime I've been in toy photography Facebook groups, they feel really active for a while, and then they slowly like kind of like stop being active. It seemed like people, I don't know. I don't have a whole lot of experience with Facebook groups, so maybe one day. It's definitely interesting to think about. Mike Manzel, thank you for the question. Next is from Go Figure Go. Miguel always coming in with great stuff. It says, what anime universe would you want to live in? And of course, he went and did research. He looked at your page and he knew, oh, this guy's into anime. Let me ask him. That's what he does. So yeah, that's a great question. What anime universe would you want to live in?
I love this question. And my number one answer is always gonna have to be Fairy Tail. Literally, nothing goes wrong in Fairy Tail. You get badass powers. You get awesome friends, and you don't die. Nothing bad happens to you there.
Right. They don't show a whole lot of like civilians, I feel like, in that show.
Everyone is safe.
Yeah.
Everyone is safe.
I don't think about it, because like if I think about like Dragon Ball Z, like those civilians are in danger and dying constantly and being wished back.
Yeah.
But in Fairy Tail, I feel like all of the big action, they always take place in some like castle or some like
Yeah.
thing where it's just all the warriors are there and there's no poor civilians. So that's a great
Yeah.
answer.
A lot of people say like Attack on Titan, and I'm like, why Attack on
No way.
Titan? Yeah.
That sounds
I
like the
mean,
worst answer.
yeah.
It's tough, yeah, because so many of like the pop culture fantasy worlds that we know like are so not like safe.
Yeah.
I wouldn't want to live in like a lot of my favorite worlds because they're so dangerous. You know, unless I'm one of the ones with the superpowers, which still that sounds stressful. Hey, so Steve Barrow says, "Hey guys, so glad I learned of Filmer last challenge and started following."
Thank
Awesome.
you. Thank you so
Steve.
much. I
Steve's
love
a
you.
great guy. Man, I don't know what answer I would give for that. Yeah, I'll
It
say
would
fairy
have
tale
to.
too.
Yeah. If you're gonna pick like a favorite anime, it would either, from my knowledge at least, it would have to be action is just fairy tale. But if you want like no action, then go to like High School of Elite or something like kid friendly like
There you
that.
go.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So, and so many of the bigger, more popular ones are all surrounded by violence
Yeah.
and stuff like that, which is cool, but not
It's cool, but
necessarily
not for
practical.
you.
Mandalorian news. I would want to live in the Star Wars universe. See, I don't know. That sounds pretty scary. Planets, literal
Yeah.
planets get destroyed sometimes. So that's a little
And
scary.
and you get lightsabers. That's cool, but not when you're on the opposite side
Right.
of it.
Outer Rim, somewhere in the Outer Rim.
Yeah.
Go figure, go. Great question. Thanks for sending that in, man. Toy Guzzler says, "How to get over discouragement?"
Ooh.
This is a very hot topic, but a good one to talk
Yeah.
about.
It's difficult because there's not really a right answer. It's kind of just like you're learning. Every time you take a photo, you're learning. So you're eventually going to feel discouraged at one point or another. So it's just how you want to go about it. If you want to keep going and you want to make this shot or this pose or whatever look good, you got to keep trying, because things won't work out. You're going to feel discouraged, but in the end, as long as you're happy with it, then it'll be great. So there are just a lot of different ways you can go about it, and
So good.
it's the same thing with me. I get discouraged all the time. Every time I take a photo, I'm like, is this really gonna work? But I take a deep breath and I'm like, I'm learning, and this is an experience for me, and this is a challenge. So I'm going to overcome this by making it work. And sometimes it doesn't work, and that's all right. You can try it again, and it'll come back. It'll be better the next time. It'll 100% be better the next time because you've learned from it.
That's great. That's the first thing we said was, well, I'm learning.
Yeah.
And like if you can you know, recognize and understand that, because yeah, we're all learning always. And if you don't feel that way, then you got to think about that one again and be like, hey, you are still learning. Everybody's still learning. And that does make things much easier to take in when you take a shot and it doesn't work out so much, because you're going to learn a whole lot from that shot that didn't work out. You're going to learn so much. So that's really good. I'm gonna start saying that, because I get that question all the time, and I feel like I have a pretty good answer. But that answer right there is really good. You're learning. Just remember, you're always learning.
Yeah.
I love that. Love it. Nice. Very nice. Toy Guzzler, great question. Great question. Cellarox in the live chat just threw in a question. Do this too. Which toy is currently your favorite to photograph? So I think for yours, would it still just be that Sonic figure?
I would, well, just because Sonic doesn't have too many expressions, he's a little bit difficult to work with. But I would say I love to use Gojo in a lot of my photos because he's got that serious and cocky face, and it goes really well with how I feel like when I'm taking a photo. It's like, oh, this makes me laugh, and because he's like this, and you know how he is in the anime, he can be serious when he wants to. So he's got a mix of like seriousness and then quirkiness
and the cockiness, mostly the cockiness.
Yeah, mostly the cockiness.
Yeah, he's great. Yeah, he's really great. Cool. So cool. I'm looking forward to seeing some more shots with him then. I guess for me, actually, I just finished filming a video for what might be my new favorite because it's kind of a replacement for my old favorite. I just got the newest Mandalorian SH figure arts, and it's pretty cool. It's pretty dang cool, and so you'll see that soon. So sell Xerox. Cool, great question. Thanks for asking.
Thank you.
And Phoenix, I'm not sure what you're talking about, but I'm glad you don't have any hate. But you're certainly not irrelevant. I mean, to the point where you threw something in here, and I was happy to see it, and I'm bringing you up right now, which makes you incredibly relevant.
Yeah.
So just thanks for being you. Right? Yeah. So, Comic Dad, just like we were just talking about, we're all learning. The more indoor stuff you do, the better you're gonna feel at it. Like, I remember for the longest time, I was so uncomfortable with doing indoor because I was so incredibly reliant on all the things outside, like the sun. It's like, I don't know how to replicate that inside, but now I feel great with it, and that's only because I've just been doing it. I've just been doing it, so you just got to give it a shot. But Will, you have a great point. Wouldn't recommend fireworks indoor, which surprisingly, I've seen people do it, and I'm like, oh my goodness. Some people like do it in their garage or something, which, hey, it's your garage, but
do whatever you want.
Has fireworks been something that have crossed your mind before?
Yes, 100%. But my Nendroids are expensive, and I don't want to risk them getting destroyed because I'm going to be using them more in every shot. I'm going to be using new ones, old ones. So I'm not risking it until I can find a safer way.
There's a few cheap Nendoroids out there. Maybe get a cheap one so you can experiment a little bit.
Oh yeah, that's true. Oh, that's actually a really smart idea.
I remember my wife got the Tracer Nendoroid from Overwatch for like $15 on clearance. So I'm sure they come up every so often.
Maybe I can destroy one for fun.
And well, there's as long as you're careful, there's a very small chance that it'll get destroyed. But with the first couple of tries, you need some time to get used to it for sure.
Yeah.
Actually, speaking of Nendoroids getting ruined, I'm not sure if she's still here, but there was a time where my wife was pretty into toy photography, just like me. It was great, and she had the red Pokemon, which he's probably very expensive now.
Yes.
And she was doing one with Smoke Bomb, and Smoke Bombs are really cool, but they are the most dangerous with figures. So if you have a Smoke Bomb that's blue, for instance, and gets in contact with your figure, it will permanently dye the figure blue, and I mean very blue. And so she did that with red, and right in the face, just blue, totally blue. Yeah, but so the face was swappable, and so that face became not usable. But she cleaned them up pretty good besides the face, and he's still upstairs doing strong. But that one face, which was the happy face, eyes closed. Yeah. And Anthony says, did the shot come out at least? I don't think it did. I think maybe it did. I'll have to go back into the archives of her old photos. But no, I think I think it was quickly like just smoke in the face, and then like, oh no, like panic mode, and so the photo might not have even come out. Oh, no chewing. Hey man, I used a bunch of smoke bombs on my driveway, left a blue stain for a year. So toys beware. Yes.
Ooh.
If you think fireworks and fire related things are the dangerous ones, no, the smoke bombs are deadly and can like, when I mean stain the figure, it's really, they'll stain the figure. Anyway, I've got a bunch more questions.
Ooh, okay.
So next is from Toy Addict. Hey man. So MVP line for 2023, which you seem to be pretty exclusively with one line. I guess you could get more specific, like a line of Nendoroids, like
yeah,
like the My Hero Academia ones or something.
Yeah, I kind of just go through like all my favorite animes that I know I can do good photography on. And the one that I use the most, ooh, I kind of use everyone evenly.
You do. You definitely do.
I do use everyone about the same amount. Okay, just out of favorites, out of the big lineup that I have, it has to be Jujutsu Kaisen. That one is my favorite because I have like almost all of them.
So they've got Satoru Gojo and Itadori
and Nobara, Megumi, Yuta, Geto.
Wow.
And Panda, and the speech user, and yeah.
Dang.
So I only have like the first wave and Yuta, but that's like for the line, that's pretty good, and those are like the main characters.
Right.
So
yeah. That's probably all I'd be interested in.
Yeah, that's all right to have all of them.
Except for Panda, maybe.
Yeah, Panda's really cute.
Yeah. I mean, he's literally a panda.
Yeah.
Nice. All right. My favorite line for 2023. Jeez, that's something I got to think about. I'm like, geez, what things did I actually buy in 2023? I don't know. It's rare that I'll actually go through like a whole line of something. I'll just like pick and choose little things. I don't know. Toy Addict, I'm gonna have to give you a rain check on that one. I did notice what Comic Dad said. He said I have about 5 stormtroopers that are permanently stained from the smoke bombs. So yes, yes, he knows.
Are they all different colors? Because if they are, you could create like a photo, like a paint war, like that.
Yes, that's a great idea. And honestly, Andrew, that's like, even if they're not that way, you could take advantage of it and stain them different colors.
And stain them permanently.
There you go. He's getting wild ideas right now.
Yeah.
He's getting wild ideas. And Mandalorian news. Hey, Jared, is your wife still selling Harley Funko Pops? I think so. I don't know if she's selling them online, but she currently is. So, yeah. So, I guess if you're interested, keep an eye out. All right. MVP line of 2023. Toy Addict, thanks for sending in the question, man. This is always a good one. How do you have time for toy photography with work and life? And you were just talking about exams and stuff. So,
yeah, it all depends on how well you organize your schedule, because I have school, work, life, and obviously school comes first, so you're gonna want to do the school stuff first. And once that's all out, I pretty much have any time I use it on photography or editing. So I space it out perfectly to where I at least have like an hour or two to spend on toy photography.
Nice. Yeah, it is. It's definitely tough, and it becomes even more difficult this time of year, especially if you like to shoot outside, because by the time work's over, it's already dark.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's rough this time of year. It's not great, but we persevere. And this is when usually we at least for me, I get forced to try to get better at shooting inside as opposed to
Ooh, oh yeah.
So, Andrew, this is the year. This winter, this is when you get better with shooting inside, Comic Dad. But I guess so. So how do you find the time? Yeah, I guess you just like what means the most to you. If you will make the time to do it. If you're busy with work and school and all that stuff in life, if toy photography really means a lot to you, you'll find the time. You'll find the
Yeah.
time, and just give yourself a standard. If you're able to fit one toy shot in a week, that's pretty good.
Yeah.
That's pretty good right there. So, yeah. But Lucarian, thanks for the question, my friend. And I think this might be the last. No, it is not. Oh, it is. Nope. Second to last question. Have you broke a figure while photographing, and how did you respond to that?
Oh dear. I have. And this one I'm so ashamed for because it's the photo that you used for the thumbnail.
Your Deku?
Yeah. So for the My Hero Nendroids, for their legs, they have little pegs inside of them. So I was trying to move his leg and I don't know what happened, but it just snapped off. So the peg inside of his leg connected to his hip got snapped off. And that was while I was making this, it happened. I was like, his leg isn't perfectly on there, so let me fix it. And then it snaps right off. But I don't know if I made this worse or better, but I hot glue his thing on. I had to hot glue his peg. That was like the only way I could get him to stand. But he's still standing, and I'm still gonna use him. Just not gonna move his legs.
Yeah, so it's just one leg. He's permanently in that position.
Yeah, it's just permanently stuck like that. But if he's like in the air, I mean, I can work around it. I'm sure I'll find a way to work around it.
Man, that's too bad. I have done that before with joints where I think it was a Figma actually, and Figma Red. Another red figure, but yeah, I like broke his arm trying to pop it out.
Oof.
It's still up there, but I think it's got like some sticky tack keeping him in. Yeah, it's really sad because that's another figure that's hard to get nowadays.
Yeah.
Man, that's sad to hear it. But hey, he's still kicking.
He's still
kicking. So good for Deku. And you know what? I bet you he will be kicking it for years to come. He's got plenty of years left in him.
Yes.
Man, Figma Pyramid Head broke for him. I guess it's just good smile stuff breaks.
It's weird because all of different Nendroids come with different ways they make it. Some have like little pegs that you just stick it in. It's like a giant ball and then it's a pin and then you just shove it into the body. And some just have like this weird plastic thing. It's very weird how they change it up. Yeah,
that's true. I've noticed too with Figma, because I've got a few, every single figure is pretty different from the last. It's definitely not like a line that's very consistent, because they do make all kinds of stuff. Like I've got the Doomslayer Figma, which is awesome, but like, yeah, totally different than the Saitama one that I've got. It's like, yeah, very, very, very different. So I guess just keep being careful, I guess. Yeah, and Steve, you're absolutely right. When we're using our toys for photographing, there's always the chance they could break. Let's determine how we continue forward. It's good. That's wise advice for life. All right, and the last question is from Action Photography. Ben himself says, what camera settings do you use for action shots, and what kind of lens do you use?
I actually don't know what lens I have.
Is it an 18 to 55 millimeter?
Yes, it is. Yeah, it's an
Yeah, so
18 to 55
it's pretty
millimeter.
good. That's a great lens, and
Yeah.
you can adjust the zoom and stuff, and it's very versatile.
Yeah. For action shots, it depends on what I put in the action or in the photo.
Right.
Because if I'm having like all this other like digital light, I have to figure out if I want like my ISO low or if I want the lens to be smaller or bigger. And it all depends on what's in the photo.
Right. It definitely depends for sure. Yeah, it depends what's going on. Unfortunately, there's
Yeah.
no just like for action shots, you must use 2500 shutter speed
I know,
or
yeah.
It's usually, Ben, what I do is I just fiddle with it until it looks good.
Yes. Yeah, just toy with it. See which
Yeah.
one works the best for you.
Yeah, definitely. And the more you do that, the more you learn about what does what, and the more comfortable and confident you get with your photos. For sure. So yeah, thanks for the question, Ben. And that's the last one. I've got a couple more questions for you though before I let you go. So
Okay.
I'm actually really curious about the first one. So what character that you love that does not yet exist in action figure form, or at least in Nendoroid form, do we need? What Nendoroid do you wish that they would come out with that they don't have yet?
It's very tricky. It would have to be someone from Fairy Tale, because they only have 2 right now.
It's just Lucy and Natsu?
Yeah, they've announced Urza, but they still haven't shown us a model of it.
Okay, so I'm gonna say which one too, because she's literally her whole thing is different outfits.
Yeah, she has different outfits. What I think they might go for is the angel wings, but it would be a whole lot better if they did just the classic one.
It seems like probably that, like the armor, the normal armor. Yeah, so no Gray or Gajiel or
I know Gray and Gajiel would have been great. What I want the most for Fairy Tale is I want a giant happy Nendoroid.
Yeah, like the same scale. Yeah, that just baffles my mind how nobody is really capitalized on that wildly popular anime with action figures. I just don't. I mean, the best you can get is really the only thing you can get are Nendoroids, and it's just those 2.
Yeah, it's just those 2.
What the heck?
And I think they're slowly trying to bring it back because their 100-year quest is starting up, I believe, either late 2024 or 2025. Yeah. So I think
is that like a continuation?
Yeah. So they're bringing Fairy Tale back.
Oh.
It starts back right off of the ending.
Which I don't even remember. It's been so long.
It's where Natsu is able to do the 100-year quest after the whole war, the 3rd or 2nd war that they have. And he's like a demon and everything.
Yeah. Man, what a great... that was... What a great one.
That was so great, yeah.
All right, so yeah, I guess more Fairy Tale. Great answer. Great answer.
Always
and
Tale.
The other question is, where do you see yourself as a toy photographer in 5 years?
Ooh. Hopefully doing the same thing. If it becomes like a job, that's great. I would love for it to be a job. As long as it's something that I'm interested in and that I can actively learn from, then I would be fine with doing the photography stuff every day, every single day.
Cool. So all right, so that sounds like one of the big goals, like
Yeah.
Well, I mean, it is your major. Well, you're wanting it to be.
Hopefully, yeah.
Right, right, right.
Yeah, my major is graphic design, and I love graphic design, but it's difficult, and I'm kind of enjoying photography more right now, and I'm still depending if I don't know if I should change it or
I mean,
not.
they go hand in hand.
Yeah, they do.
Whether
They
it be
do.
like just like fundamentals of color and how things look, or just like editing things on the computer.
Yeah.
Cool. All right, that's exciting. Well, I can't wait to see where you'll be in 5 years. Honestly, I can't wait to see where your stuff will be in 5 months. You know.
Hopefully, I can reach 200 followers by the end of this year.
Oh my gosh! If you you will. You absolutely.
That's my
will.
goal for right now. I was just asking my girlfriend. I was like, "What do you think I'll get 200 by the end of this year?" It's only like 3 weeks left, 3-4 weeks left.
Well, let's see. So you started on here. You had 144, and it's already up to 153.
Oh wow!
So hopefully, hopefully people keep watching this and it keeps going up.
Yeah.
Yeah. There you go. Brian just says, just stay consistent.
That's what I'm trying. Yeah.
And a great way to do it too is just interact and engage with other toy photographers and stuff. Like, those are the first people that are gonna want to be like, oh, this guy's awesome, and follow, because that's the first people that you're gonna be able to connect with. So yeah, just definitely, and collab, ask people to collab, stuff like that.
I really want to try that.
Yeah, and you'll find plenty of anime heads like yourself that will be totally into it.
There are a lot of us now since the pandemic.
Oh my god, it's crazy. It's like anytime I go to any store, like the two like biggest pop culture things that are everywhere are by far number one is anime, and then horror stuff is number 2.
Yes,
it's like all anime and horror stuff, which is cool because I love both. I mean, I've recently become like I've started to like horror stuff, but like it used to be like all superheroes, and that's secondary to anime and horror stuff, and same with like Star Wars stuff like that. That's all secondary to
I know,
to anime.
It was like at
horror.
The top before, and now it's at the bottom. It's like second.
Yeah, like if you go into Hot Topic is a perfect example, because Hot Topic will just mold to what's popular at the moment, which is good. I mean, any store should. You go in and it's like, and it's just all anime.
Yeah,
and then some horror. And if you're lucky, you'll find a Batman shirt.
That shift from anime to just straight horror.
Yeah, it's interesting. So that's one of the reasons why I'm like, I gotta get back into anime. So I've been binging stuff. All right, well, dude, what an amazing talk and just time chatting with you. Thank you for being on here. Thanks for everything you do. Thanks for inspiring all of us, and I'm sure that everyone watching at least learned something. I definitely did, for sure. But yeah, anything you want to leave us with as we head out?
Yes. Believe in yourself, everyone. Believe it's gonna be a really rough time. You're gonna feel sad. You are gonna feel really rushed. You're gonna get a lot of emotions going into photography, and you gotta know that you're just learning, and it's gonna take time, but it's you know how to treat yourself, you know how to work along with yourself, and you know what's best for you. So whatever you guys do related to toy photography, or just anything that's going on with your life, you will eventually know how to figure it out. And you got everyone on Instagram and everyone on YouTube, especially Sirdork, to be there for you and everything.
That is great. That's amazing. Wow, I was not expecting something so awesome. And it's true. I agree with everything you just said. Full 100%. 100%. And Cal the Collector. One more follower. Thanks, Cal.
Thank you, Cal. Love you.
All right. Well,
All of
thanks.
you.
Thank you, everybody, for watching and for being here. And have a great rest of the day, everybody. And Sanjeevan, thank you so much for everything, dude.
Thank you. Thank you so much for having me here. It was a great time.
Thank you. Thank you. All right. Have a great night, everybody. See ya.